June the 3rd, 2026. Guys, a quick update. We've got an array of sunspots that the sun has broadsided towards our planet. One on the second, three today, one's the next flare. The two under that one are very close, almost touching the X line. And they've created a series of very powerful coronal mass ejections that are headed in our direction. Now, our first impact, it looks like doing the timing, going from UTC to East Coast time, is tomorrow afternoon for the first impact, 1 p.m. East Coast. And then 5 hours later, a second impact. And then what's going to happen after that is a continuation of a plasma cloud, guys, that's very large and very powerful. It's really the last thing the Earth needs right now is more heating. And, of course, these things put pressure on the shields, send a lot of energy into the core of the planet, and cause quakes. Now, these are high plasma discharge coronal mass ejections. And you can tell this is the 31st of 1st. Now, the second, we get a very powerful one here. The last one today came out the bottom. You'll see that right there. A lot of plasma involved. Watch right here. Same thing. You see that very white, hot plasma cloud ejection. That density is what causes the pressure on our planet. Now, when these things explode like this, not the proton density, which is the CME, but the photon speed, which blacks out our radios, and in the atmosphere, guys, comes in about 8.2 minutes from the time it leaves the sun. 93 million miles an hour, that's pretty quick. And these flares, guys, are approaching 2.6 million miles per hour as they head our way. Now, this is the X flare again, 1.7, just over the line. What they're saying is, and we'll see it on the coronal mass ejection tracker, that there's two bursts coming in, and they're saying this third one here may not have a coronal mass ejection attached to it. Sometimes you can just have a solar flare without the plasma density cloud coming off the sun itself. But it also can be a sign that they have not tracked it yet. It's saying it was just a matter of time. Hyperactive sunspot region 4455 just touched the X-class level with this X1.07. Peaked at 11:28 UTC time today. It says, although bright, this event may not have been eruptive as some of the previous M flares from earlier this morning. An M7 and at 7 UTC time did launch a CME into space with a mostly northward trajectory, but an Earth-directed component may be possible, and I think it is, guys. It's Earth-facing enough to where we will see the impact. It says, but the Earth-directed component may be possible again. A further update regarding the M7 and X1 flares will be provided a little later. Again, I think let me back up. They don't see at this time the third coronal mass ejection. It may not have occurred, but the ones that are coming are going to be enough to worry about. And looking at the flare detection chart, this is the one yesterday I showed you on the second coming off the top left center or left corner of the sun. Here are the two strong M flares just under that X flare line right there. And this one, the reason it's the way it is that flare lasted longer, that X flare. These popped up, came back down relatively quick. But this one has the density cloud with it for sure. So we'll just have to see if there's a third CME involved. But starting tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, is the window of the event to begin. Now, here in the center is 4455. That's been the problem child. It's just a little right to center. And again, the Earth, if you drew a line across the sun here at the equator, the Earth is really a little bit below that ecliptic line. But this thing's Earth-facing enough to where we're going to get some effects from these CMEs. Now, let's take a look at the CME tracker. We'll let it cycle back through again. This is a very steep wall and getting up into 50 as far as the plasma density in centimeters cubed. That's powerful. Also, you can see that there's two impacts here. The very first one is tomorrow at 1 and then about 6 p.m. here, East Coast time. And if they see the third flare, which is the X flare, come in with the CME, then they'll add a little bit more to this. But what's interesting is in this section, they're showing that plasma density cloud. Remember that X-flare lasted a long time compared to the first two, and that's what this extension is on the bottom. If you're looking at the green chart, it always is Earth. This is the plasma density. This is the solar wind speed or radial velocity. These things are traveling at 2.86 million miles per hour. That's very fast, and that's the impact speed. They're faster than that when they leave, if you look at muzzle velocity. But again, this impact right here, it's showing the radial velocity. Again, over 2.5 million miles per hour. Very powerful and long-lasting, because look at this. This is going to impact tomorrow, and the effects will slowly taper down by the 8th. Got it? But look at this red cloud. This has to do with this chart. Can the CMEs come off the surface as we come back through? And I'll help it out just a little bit. Coming right here, here's the impact point. See that for both. And that's going to get 1800. We'll give you 1 p.m. tomorrow, East Coast. But look at this cloud of density. Look at that. And as we pull this forward, watch how it explodes. Right there. Very powerful. And long lasting. See that decline, a very low slope on that decline curve. One of the more powerful groups that I've seen so far this solar cycle that are tandem back to back like that. And right here we got the hottest part of the year coming up. Everything's super dry, and Earth's weather is dictated by space weather. Not sure how this will affect everything. It's not going to cool it off, I can guarantee you that. Now, on this chart, guys, it gives you a little bit of information. If you see a BG, it's two types of magnetic configurations, beta, gamma, and those are the most dangerous. 4445 is beta, gamma, and it is growing. See that? You got two others, they're growing, 4459 and 58, and you've got a dual magnetic configuration in sunspot 4461, but it is stable. So it looks like between 4455 and 5859, which again we'll take a look at, those are going to be the problem makers. So again, we got 4455 here, 4458, see that dual configuration, different colors in there, and then 4459 back here. These are yet to come. 4461 looks like it could become active, and so does 4462. It's been quiet for the last month or so. I think that's coming to an end. It's something else we're going to have to pay attention to. Now, the last thing we need is a lot of pressure on our grids, because you've got more and more data centers pulling online. You've got the heat. We have weak grids that we've been talking about, very old transformers. And when it's warm and you start seeing this type of solar activity, we can have downtimes. So again, it's like our father saying, look, times are changing. You better get ready. Anyway, guys, this is not a long video. This we will update tomorrow, or maybe later tonight. If they do show tracking on that X-flare, we'll just have to wait and see. Either way, guys, it's a heads up. You be safe.